Dicen que una mujer china fue a la tienda de la Louis Vuitton a comprar y estaba mirando ahí, buscando cosas que quería comprar y no la estaban atendiendo, la estaban ignorando y pues,
This particular head-to-head has been tough for you. Slowly but surely, you're turning the tide.
Shocking. Louis Vuitton staff mock and kick out Coco Gauff. The $30 million mistake that has the internet exploding. You know the feeling. We have all been there at some point. You walk into a room, maybe a high-end store or a fancy restaurant, and you feel the eyes on you. Not the welcoming kind of eyes, but the judging kind. The kind that scan you from head to toe, checking your shoes, checking your watch, and deciding in a split second whether you are worth their time. It is a terrible feeling. It makes you feel small. It makes you feel invisible. But what happens when the person being judged, the person being looked down upon as if they couldn't afford a keychain, isn't just an ordinary shopper? What happens when that person is actually one of the most famous, wealthy, and powerful athletes on the entire planet? Well, brace yourselves, tennis fans, because a story has just hit the grapevine that is absolutely shaking the foundations of the luxury fashion world. It is a tale of snobbery, mistaken identity, and a serving of karma so delicious you will want to eat it with a spoon. We are talking about Louis Vuitton. We are talking about a casual hoodie. And we are talking about the one and only Grand Slam champion, Coco Gauff. Breaking news, champions tennisitics family. Louis Vuitton staff reportedly mocked and refused to serve a casually dressed woman, only to be absolutely stunned 48 hours later when they learned it was none other than America's sweetheart, Coco Gauff. She wasn't there to show off. She wasn't there to demand VIP treatment. She was simply trying to buy a gift for her mother. But because she wasn't dripping in diamonds or flashing a Birkin bag, she was treated like she didn't belong. And let me tell you, the fallout is spectacular. Today, we are diving deep into this incident. We are going to break down exactly what happened, why it happened, and why this is a massive wake-up call for the luxury industry. But we aren't stopping there. We are also going to look at why this specific mistake is so ironic given Coco's massive recent performances, her inspiring journey, and her actual history with major fashion brands. Grab your popcorn, smash that like button, and let's get into the scandal that proves once and for all that you should never, ever judge a book by its cover. Let's set the scene. Picture the interior of a Louis Vuitton boutique. It is pristine. The lights are perfectly angled to make the leather gleam. The air smells like money. In walks a young woman. She is wearing comfortable clothes, maybe a hoodie, maybe some sweatpants, definitely sneakers. To the untrained eye of a judgmental sales associate, she looks like a teenager who wandered in from the mall food court. She looks like someone who is just browsing, someone who can't afford the price tag on a scarf, let alone a handbag. According to reports, the staff didn't just ignore her. They actively made her feel unwelcome. You know the moves. The fake busyness, reorganizing shelves that are already perfect. The side-eye glances to security. The condescending tone when you ask to see an item and they say, "Oh, that's actually very expensive," as if they are doing you a favor by protecting you from the price tag. The narrative suggests that Coco, in her humble nature, didn't pull the "do you know who I am" card. She didn't scream. She didn't cause a scene. She simply took the disrespect, turned around, and walked out. It wasn't until 2 days later, 48 hours of silence, that the realization hit the store like a freight train. Maybe a manager saw the security footage. Maybe Coco posted a cryptic photo. Or maybe the credit card receipt from a different store surfaced. However it happened, the staff at that Louis Vuitton location were reportedly left stunned, humiliated, and scrambling when they realized they had just turned away a woman whose net worth is skyrocketing past $30 million. They had turned away a Grand Slam champion. They had turned away a fashion icon. And the irony here is thick enough to cut with a knife. Why? Because Coco Gauff isn't just a random celebrity. She is literally part of the tennis world that luxury brands like Louis Vuitton invest millions in. Remember, Louis Vuitton designs the trophy trunks for the Australian Open and the French Open. Coco Gauff has won major titles. She has been photographed with these iconic trunks. For a sales associate to not recognize one of the biggest faces in women's sports just because she was wearing a hoodie is a level of incompetence that is almost impressive. But this speaks to a much larger issue in our society, doesn't it? It is the issue of appearance versus reality. We live in a world where people think wealth looks a certain way. They think money looks like flashy logos, high heels, and stiff suits. But real money? Real power? It often looks like comfort. The billionaire tech moguls wear t-shirts. The greatest athletes in the world live in tracksuits because they spend their lives training. Coco Gauff doesn't need to dress up to prove her worth to anyone. Her worth is etched on the trophies sitting on her shelf. Her worth is in the devastating backhand that has made her one of the most formidable players on the WTA Tour. Her worth is in the millions of dollars she earns from New Balance, Bose, and Barilla. It is maddening, isn't it? To think that a young woman who has carried the weight of American tennis on her shoulders since she was 15 years old could still be treated like a second-class citizen just because she wanted to be comfortable while shopping for her mom. And that detail, shopping for her mom, just breaks your heart a little bit. We all know Candy Gauff. We see her in the player's box, cheering, stressing, and supporting her daughter every step of the way. Coco wanted to do something nice, something normal, for the woman who raised her. And instead of a pleasant shopping trip, she got a dose of cold, hard snobbery. This incident, whether it is a singular event or part of a pattern of behavior by luxury brands, reminds us of the famous Oprah Winfrey story from years ago. Remember that? Oprah was in Switzerland, one of the richest women in the world, and a clerk refused to show her a handbag because she said it was too expensive for her. Oprah, it just goes to show that no matter how much you achieve, no matter how many Grand Slams you win, there are still gatekeepers who think they can determine your value based on a quick glance. But let's flip the script and talk about who they actually disrespected. They didn't just disrespect a customer. They disrespected the future of tennis. Let's look at where Coco Gauff is right now in her career, because it makes this snub even more ridiculous. Coco has established herself as one of the most exciting and talented players in the game today. She burst onto the scene as a 15-year-old phenom at Wimbledon in 2019, defeating Venus Williams in a moment that sent shockwaves through the tennis world. Since then, she has only gotten better, stronger, and more confident. Her breakthrough came at the 2023 U.S. Open, where she captured her first Grand Slam singles title in front of a roaring home crowd. The emotion, the power, the pure joy on her face as she held that trophy was a moment that will be replayed for generations. She showed the world that she wasn't just a talented kid with potential. She was a champion, a real, bona fide champion. And that was just the beginning. Fast forward to 2024 and 2025, and Coco has continued to dominate. She has consistently been ranked in the top 5 players in the world. She has won multiple WTA titles. She has competed in Olympic Games, representing her country with pride and passion. She has become the face of American tennis, the player that young girls look up to, the athlete that brands want to partner with. Her endorsement deals are massive. New Balance didn't just sign her, they built an entire campaign around her. Her signature shoe line has been a commercial success, with each release selling out almost immediately. Beyond tennis, Coco has used her platform to speak out on social issues. She has been vocal about racial justice, mental health, and the importance of education. She is mature beyond her years, articulate, thoughtful, and genuine. She is the total package. An athlete, an activist, a role model, and yes, a very wealthy young woman who can afford anything she wants at Louis Vuitton or anywhere else. Just recently, she has been competing in the early part of the 2026 season, continuing to showcase the skills that have made her a household name. Whether she is crushing forehands on hard courts or sliding into backhands on clay, Coco brings intensity and passion every single time she steps onto the court. She is a permanent fixture in the top 5 rankings. She is one of the highest-paid female athletes on earth. When she walks onto a court, stadiums erupt. When she posts on social media, millions watch. She has transcended tennis to become a cultural icon. And yet, to that one salesperson, she was just a girl in a hoodie who couldn't afford it. This brings us to the concept of quiet luxury versus loud snobbery. Coco Gauff is the definition of legitimate success. She works harder in a single off-season training block than most people work in a lifetime. Her money is earned through sweat, grit, and unparalleled talent. When she is off the court, she deserves to wear whatever she wants. In fact, Coco has been open about her fashion evolution. She has talked about how she used to live in hoodies and comfortable clothes. Recently, She has been branching out, trying new styles, working with stylists, and becoming more of a fashionista. But her roots are in comfort. Her roots are in being real. And if a luxury brand cannot respect the person underneath the fabric, then they don't deserve the business. Imagine the panic in that store 48 hours later. Imagine the manager's meeting. You did what? You turned away who? The loss of the sale is one thing. A few $1,000s is a drop in the bucket for Louis Vuitton. But the PR nightmare? That is priceless. In the age of social media, stories like this spread like wildfire. It confirms what regular people already suspect, that these high-end places are built on exclusion, not service. They want your money, but only if you look the part they have created in their heads. It is also a testament to Coco's class that she didn't burn the place to the ground right there and then. She didn't make a scene. She didn't throw a tantrum. She just left. That is the behavior of a champion. A champion knows that their worth isn't defined by a rude clerk. A champion knows they can take their business elsewhere, or better yet, by the whole building if they really wanted to. Let's talk about the specific dynamics of retail profiling. It is an ugly reality. Staff are trained to profile customers, to spot the whales who will drop $50,000 in a visit. They look for specific watches, shoes, and bags. But the smartest salespeople know that the wealthiest people are often the most understated. The guy in the old jeans might be a tech billionaire. The girl in the tracksuit might be Coco Gauff. By failing to serve her, they failed at the one job they have, to sell. And let's not forget the pretty woman moment. We all want to see it. We all want to see Coco walk back into that store, decked out in designer gear, holding a different brand's bag, and say, big mistake. Big. Huge. But Coco is probably too busy winning matches to bother with that. She is too busy preparing for the next tournament. She is too busy fulfilling her contracts with New Balance, who, by the way, treat her like the queen she is. Have you seen her signature shoes? Have you seen the marketing campaigns? That is how you treat a star. This story also highlights the changing face of luxury consumers. The younger generation, Gen Z, which Coco leads, doesn't subscribe to the old stuffy rules of the past. They value authenticity. They value vibes. They value respect. If luxury brands want to survive the next 20 years, they need to stop looking down their noses at people in streetwear, because those people in streetwear are the ones with the purchasing power. Coco Gauff represents the new money, the new fame, and the new influence. Old school snobbery has no place in 2026. I want to take a moment to reflect on what this says about Coco's character. Despite all the fame, despite the millions, she has remained incredibly grounded. She is still the girl who dances with her family on TikTok. She is still the girl who gets nervous meeting other celebrities. She is still the girl who just wants to buy a nice gift for her mom. That relatability is her superpower. It is why we love her. We don't love her just because she hits a tennis ball 120 miles per hour. We love her because she feels like one of us. And when one of us gets disrespected, we all feel it. The broader implications of this incident extend far beyond one store or one brand. This is about systemic issues in how we value people. How many times do we make snap judgments about someone based on their appearance? How many times have we been on the receiving end of those judgments? The reality is that respect should be universal. It shouldn't matter if you are Coco Gauff or someone shopping with their last paycheck. Every customer deserves to be treated with dignity and courtesy. That is basic human decency. That is customer service 101. What makes this story even more frustrating is the missed opportunity for the brand. Imagine if that sales associate had treated Coco with warmth and professionalism. Imagine if they had gone above and beyond to help her find the perfect gift for her mother. Coco might have posted about it on Instagram. She might have tagged the store. She might have become a regular customer and advocate for the brand. Instead, they got this. A story that makes them look elitist, out of touch, and frankly, stupid. The power dynamics at play here are fascinating too. On one hand, you have the luxury brand, with all its prestige and history and exclusivity. On the other hand, you have a young black woman who has achieved extraordinary success through her own merit and talent. The brand holds the keys to the store, but Coco holds the keys to influence, to millions of followers, to cultural relevance. In 2026, who really has the power? The answer is clear. And when the two collide in a moment like this, the brand loses every single time. Let's also talk about the emotional toll this kind of experience can have. Even for someone as accomplished as Coco Gauff, Being treated poorly hurts. It stings. It makes you question yourself, even when you know you shouldn't. It is a reminder that no matter how far you climb, there will always be people who want to knock you down. But what separates champions from everyone else is resilience. It is the ability to take that hurt, that anger, that frustration, and channel it into something positive. Maybe Coco channels it into her next match. Maybe she channels it into her advocacy work. Maybe she channels it into proving, once again, that she belongs at the very top. The timing of this incident is particularly noteworthy. We are in an era where athletes have more power and autonomy than ever before. They control their own narratives through social media. They speak directly to their fans without needing traditional media as a filter. If Coco wanted to, she could post one tweet, one Instagram story, and this Louis Vuitton location would be flooded with criticism and calls for accountability. The fact that she hasn't done that, or at least not in a loud public way, speaks to her maturity and grace. She is taking the high road. But the story got out anyway, because the truth always does. For the younger fans who look up to Coco, this is a powerful lesson. It is a lesson about self-worth. It is a lesson about not letting other people's opinions define you. It is a lesson about grace under pressure. Imagine a young girl who looks up to Coco, hearing that even her idol gets treated poorly because of what she wears. It could be disheartening, but it is also empowering. Because if Coco can handle it with dignity and keep being successful, then so can they. That is the message. Don't let anyone make you feel small. Know your worth. And keep pushing forward. Looking ahead, it will be interesting to see if Louis Vuitton makes any public statement about this incident. Usually, in these cases, the brand goes into damage control mode. They might send a gift basket, offer a private shopping experience, or issue a generic statement about training protocols. But the damage is done. The story is out. And once again, the world is reminded that money can buy nice things, but it can't buy manners. We also need to consider the ripple effects of this story. Other luxury brands are watching. They are taking notes. They are hopefully realizing that in 2026, you cannot afford to alienate customers based on appearance. The cost is too high. The backlash is too swift. The court of public opinion is too powerful. And the athletes, the influencers, the cultural icons like Coco Gauff, they have the platform to hold brands accountable. As we continue through the tennis season, let's use this as fuel. Every time Coco steps on the court, every time she crushes a winner, it is a reminder to everyone who ever doubted her, or judged her, or looked past her. She is a force of nature. She is a champion. And she is definitely not someone you want to refuse service to. She is someone you want on your side. She is someone you want representing your brand. She is someone you want to celebrate, not dismiss. In conclusion, this incident at Louis Vuitton is more than just a tabloid headline. It is a cultural moment. It exposes the cracks in the facade of the luxury world. It highlights the quiet strength of Coco Gauff. And it serves as a delicious slice of humble pie for a staff that judged a book by its cover. Coco Gauff is a Grand Slam champion. She is a multimillionaire. She is a dutiful daughter. And she is a fashion icon, hoodie and all. She represents the best of what sports can offer, a combination of talent, hard work, humility, and grace. She is the kind of person who makes the world better just by being in it. And she deserves to be treated with respect, always. So, to the staff member who turned her away, big mistake. Big. Huge. And to Coco, keep shining, keep winning, and keep wearing whatever you want. You have earned it. You have earned the right to walk into any store in the world and be treated like the queen you are. And when you do buy that gift for your mom, I hope it is the most beautiful, thoughtful, perfect gift ever. Because she raised a champion, and champions deserve to celebrate the people who helped them get there. This story is a reminder to all of us to be kinder, to be more thoughtful, to look beyond the surface. Because you never know who you are talking to. You never know what someone has achieved. You never know what battles they have fought to get where they are. Treat everyone with respect. Treat everyone with dignity. Because we are all human. We all deserve that basic level of decency. And when we fail to provide it, we don't just hurt the other person. We diminish ourselves. Champions Tennisitics family, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this story? Have you ever been judged or treated poorly in a store just because of how you were dressed? Do you think luxury brands need to change their attitude? And what is your message to Coco Gauff after this incident? Drop your thoughts, your stories, and your support in the comments section below. I read every single one of them. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please do me a huge favor. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update on Coco, the Grand Slams, and all the drama in the tennis world. We are building the best tennis community on YouTube, and we want you on the team. Thanks for watching, and remember, greatness doesn't need a dress code. See you in the next video.
Head to toe fit check. All right, start with you.
Okay, I have the New Balance 327. I have the Coco Fit with the one and only.
This particular head-to-head has been tough for you. Slowly but surely, you're turning the tide now. 2 matches in a row, 2 wins against Ego. What has changed for you?
Did you deal with the atmosphere, the energy, and the public?
Yeah, this is my first time playing a French player here, actually in this tournament that I can remember. Maybe
I think I'm trying to get as many 6-0s as possible because, you know, we have Ego who's like, you know, they have the bakery. So, you know, I can have a mini one. I'm going to give it my all in U.S. Open. And, you know, if things go great, that's exciting. And if not, I go back and I work hard and I get ready for the next one. And that's kind of